over 50? Then listen closely, because what I'm about to tell you might surprise you. Most people think that eating fruits is always good for health. After all, doctors, TV ads, and even family members say, eat more fruits. They're natural, they're healthy, they give you energy. And yes, that's true for some fruits. But here's the shocking part. Not every fruit is your friend, especially after 50. As we age, our body changes. The muscles in our legs, the very muscles that help us walk, climb stairs, and stay independent, become more sensitive to sugar, acids, and hidden calories. That means some fruits, which may have been harmless in your 20s or 30s, can now actually drain your strength, weaken your legs, and make everyday movements harder. Think about it. How many times have you eaten a bowl of fruit and instead of feeling energized, you felt tired, heavy, or even noticed pain in your knees or legs? That's not just aging. That's your body telling you that the wrong type of fruit is secretly working against you. And here's the truth. If you want to stay active, walk without fear of falling, and keep your independence after 50, you must know which fruits to avoid. Today, I'm going to reveal 7 worst fruits that secretly weaken your muscles and legs. These are fruits that may look innocent in your kitchen, but if you eat them regularly, they slowly steal away your strength. So if you care about keeping your legs strong, if you don't want to end up dependent on others, and if you truly want to age with confidence, then stay with me till the end of this video. At first glance, grapes look like one of the healthiest snacks on the planet. They're small, juicy, refreshing, and easy to pop into your mouth. Many seniors even keep a bowl of grapes on the table, thinking, it's fruit, it must be good for me. But here's the shocking truth. Grapes can actually drain your muscle strength, especially in your legs, if you eat too many of them. Why? Because grapes are packed with fructose, a natural fruit sugar. Now, sugar by itself is not evil. Our bodies need it in small amounts for energy, but here's the problem. After age 50, our metabolism slows down. Our muscles lose mass, and our cells don't process sugar as efficiently as they used to. This means that when you eat grapes, especially in large handfuls, your blood sugar spikes very quickly. When that happens, insulin, the hormone that controls sugar, rushes in to clear that sugar from your bloodstream. At first, you feel a quick burst of energy, but soon after, your sugar levels crash. And when they crash, your muscles don't get the steady fuel they need to stay strong. The result? You start feeling tired, weak, and heavy, especially in your legs. Now, let's put this in perspective. 1 cup of grapes, just one small bowl, has around 23 grams of sugar. That's nearly the same as drinking half a can of soda. The difference is that most people won't stop at one handful. Grapes are so easy to eat that you might finish half the bunch before you realize it. That's like drinking an entire can of soda, all in the name of healthy fruit. But there's another issue most people don't realize. Grapes are also high in something called glycemic load. This means they don't just raise your sugar, they raise it fast and high. And every time your blood sugar jumps like that, it puts stress on your muscles, joints, and even your nerves. Over time, this can lead to inflammation in your legs, muscle fatigue, and slower recovery after exercise or even after simple daily walking. If you already struggle with diabetes or prediabetes, and let's be honest, many seniors do, grapes can make the problem worse. High blood sugar doesn't just make you tired, it also damages the tiny blood vessels in your legs. That means your muscles don't get enough oxygen and nutrients. And when your muscles are starved of nutrients, they become weaker and smaller. Now, I'm not saying you can never eat grapes again. They do have antioxidants called resveratrol, which can be good for the heart. But here's the key: moderation and timing. If you love grapes, eat a very small handful and pair them with a protein source like Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, or a few almonds. That way, the sugar hits your bloodstream more slowly and doesn't leave your muscles drained. But if you're in the habit of snacking on grapes every night while watching TV or keeping a big bowl on the kitchen counter,
It's time to rethink that habit. Because instead of fueling your body, grapes may actually be silently robbing your leg strength. So the next time you feel your legs unusually tired after what should be an easy walk, don't just blame old age. Ask yourself, could those sweet, juicy grapes be the hidden reason your muscles feel weak? Bananas are one of the most popular fruits in the world, and for good reason. They're cheap, convenient, easy to digest, and they even come in their own natural wrapper. For decades, people have believed that bananas are the perfect snack for energy, potassium, and overall health. But here's the surprising truth. For seniors over 50, especially when bananas are overripe, they can actually weaken your muscles instead of strengthening them. Let's break this down. When a banana is green or slightly yellow, it contains something called resistant starch. This is a type of carbohydrate that digests slowly, gives you steady energy, and doesn't spike your blood sugar too quickly. In that stage, bananas can be fairly balanced. But as bananas ripen, when those brown spots start to appear and the skin gets softer, the resistant starch changes into simple sugars like glucose, sucrose, and fructose. That's why an overripe banana tastes sweeter, because it's basically turned into a sugar bomb. And here's the problem. After age 50, your body isn't as efficient at handling sugar. Eating an overripe banana causes a quick surge in blood sugar, followed by a crash. And just like with grapes, when your blood sugar crashes, your muscles, especially your leg muscles, are left without steady fuel. This can leave you feeling weak, shaky, or even more tired after eating what you thought was a healthy snack. Now, let's talk about muscle health specifically. Many seniors worry about leg cramps and weakness. And while bananas are often praised for their potassium, the truth is one banana doesn't have nearly as much potassium as people think. In fact, a cup of spinach or a baked potato has more potassium than a banana. And when you eat an overripe banana, the high sugar content can actually outweigh the potassium benefit, because sugar promotes inflammation and fluid imbalance, which can trigger cramps instead of preventing them. Here's another hidden danger: weight gain. Bananas are calorie-dense compared to most fruits. One medium banana has about 110 calories, and when it's overripe, your body processes it like eating a candy bar. If you're eating 1 or 2 bananas every day, especially without much physical activity, those extra calories get stored as fat, usually around the belly and thighs. And extra body fat makes it harder for your leg muscles to support your weight, leading to weakness, pain, and stiffness. Think about this. You see many seniors eating bananas because they're soft and easy to chew. But if you're not careful, this habit could actually be working against your strength and mobility. You might think you're giving your body energy, but in reality, you're spiking your sugar, storing fat, and slowly losing the very leg strength you need to stay independent. So, what should you do? The answer isn't to avoid bananas completely. Instead, be smart about how and when you eat them. If you enjoy bananas, eat them before they're fully ripe, when they're still a little green or firm. At that stage, they have more resistant starch, less sugar, and will fuel your muscles more steadily. And just like with grapes, pair bananas with protein or healthy fat. For example, a half banana with a spoon of peanut butter or a few walnuts can give you balanced energy without the crash. But the bottom line is, if you're regularly eating soft, overripe bananas with lots of brown spots, you're not helping your muscles, you're silently weakening them. So the next time you reach for a banana, ask yourself, is this going to fuel my strength or steal it?
Mangoes are often called the king of fruits, and for many people, especially in South Asia and tropical countries, they're a summer favorite. Sweet, juicy, and refreshing, nothing feels more satisfying than a cold slice of mango on a hot day. For seniors, mangoes can also feel comforting because they bring back memories of childhood, family gatherings, and traditions. But here's the truth you rarely hear. As delicious as they are, mangoes are one of the worst fruits for seniors who want to keep their legs strong and muscles active. Why? Because they are loaded with sugar. So much sugar that eating mango regularly is almost like eating candy.
Let's look at the numbers. Just 1 cup of sliced mango contains around 45 grams of sugar. To put that in perspective, that's more sugar than a can of Coca-Cola. And the problem is, most people don't stop at just 1 cup. A typical mango can easily give you 2 or 3 cups of fruit, which means you could be swallowing over 100 grams of sugar in a single sitting, all while thinking you're eating something natural and healthy. Now, what does all this sugar do to your muscles, especially after 50? When you flood your bloodstream with sugar, your body has to produce large amounts of insulin to handle it. This process shifts your body into fat storage mode instead of muscle maintenance mode. In other words, instead of fueling your muscles for strength and activity, that sugar gets stored around your belly. Pineapple is one of those fruits that looks so healthy and refreshing that it almost feels wrong to call it bad. It's tropical, juicy, and often recommended for digestion because it contains bromelain, an enzyme that helps break down protein. Many seniors also love pineapple because it feels light and hydrating. But here's the reality: for people over 50, pineapple can actually work against your muscle strength and leg health when eaten in excess. The first problem with pineapple is its sugar content. A single cup of pineapple chunks has about 16 grams of sugar. Now, that might not sound like a lot compared to mangoes, but the way your body processes it makes a huge difference. Pineapple has a high glycemic index, which means its sugar enters your bloodstream very quickly. For aging muscles, this is a disaster. Quick sugar spikes mean insulin surges, followed by energy crashes. And when your muscles don't get steady energy, you feel weak, shaky, or heavy in your legs. The exact opposite of what you want as you age. But the real danger isn't just the sugar, it's the acidity. Pineapple is one of the most acidic fruits, and while that tangy flavor might feel refreshing on your tongue, inside your body, it can cause problems. Too much acid in your diet can disturb your body's calcium balance. Why is that important? Because calcium isn't just for bones, it's essential for muscle contraction. Without proper calcium levels, your muscles, especially those in your legs, can cramp, stiffen, or feel unusually weak. Many seniors already struggle with issues like osteoporosis, arthritis, or acid reflux. Eating acidic fruits like pineapple can make these problems worse. For example, if your bones are already losing calcium with age, an overly acidic diet pushes your body to pull calcium out of your bones to neutralize that acid. Over time, this weakens both your bones and your muscles, leaving your legs more fragile and less supportive. There's another overlooked issue: inflammation. Pineapple is praised for bromelain, but when eaten in large amounts, the combination of sugar and acid can actually trigger inflammation in sensitive people. Inflammation in the joints and muscles of the legs leads to stiffness, soreness, and slower recovery after activity. If you've ever felt knee pain or ankle swelling after a fruit salad, pineapple may be the hidden culprit. Now, this doesn't mean you must cut pineapple out of your life forever. A small piece once in a while, especially if paired with a protein source, won't harm you. In fact, in moderation, the vitamin C and enzymes can be beneficial. But the key word here is moderation. If pineapple is your go-to snack, smoothie ingredient, or dessert, you may be unknowingly stressing your muscles, bones, and joints every single day. So the next time you think of pineapple as a light and healthy option, remember this: for seniors over 50, it's not about whether a fruit is healthy in general, it's about how your aging body reacts to it. Too much pineapple can leave you with weaker legs, painful cramps, and slower recovery. And when your independence depends on every step, that's a price you don't want to pay. At first glance, dried fruits like raisins, dates, and figs seem like the perfect snack. They're small, portable, sweet, and natural. Many seniors even believe they're healthier than candy because, after all, it's just fruit. Some people even eat a handful daily, thinking it will improve digestion, provide quick energy, or give extra minerals like iron. But here's the reality: for seniors over 50, dried fruits can be one of the worst choices for muscle and leg health. Why? Because they're essentially concentrated sugar bombs disguised as healthy food. Let's break this down. When fruits are dried, their water content is removed. What remains is a tiny, shriveled piece of fruit that's much smaller in size, but the sugar, that's still there. In fact, it's even more concentrated. For example, 1 cup of grapes has about 23 grams of sugar, but 1 cup of raisins, dried grapes, has a whopping 85 grams of sugar. That's nearly 4 times the sugar in a fraction of the size. This means it's very easy to overeat dried fruits. A small handful of dates or figs can give you as much sugar as a candy bar, except you might not even realize it because you're telling yourself it's natural. Now, let's talk about what this does to your body after 50. When you flood your system with concentrated sugar, your blood sugar spikes sky high. Then, as insulin rushes in to lower it, your blood sugar drops suddenly. This roller coaster leaves you feeling drained, heavy, and weak, especially in your legs, where muscles need a steady supply of energy to stay strong. Over time, these sugar surges don't just make you tired, they damage your insulin sensitivity, making it harder for your muscles to use sugar properly. This condition is one of the main causes of sarcopenia, the gradual loss of muscle mass after 50. In other words, eating too many dried fruits can accelerate the very muscle loss you're trying to fight. But the danger doesn't stop there. Dates and figs are also calorie-dense. Just a few dates can pack over 200 calories, mostly from sugar. If you're not burning those calories with physical activity, they're stored as fat, usually in your belly and thighs. Extra fat puts pressure on your legs, weakens your mobility, and increases your risk of falls.
And here's another hidden problem. Dried fruits often stick to your teeth. This may sound like a small issue, but for seniors, it's serious. Sticky sugar sitting on your teeth leads to cavities and gum problems. And poor oral health makes it harder to eat the protein-rich foods your muscles actually need to stay strong. Now, some people argue, but dried fruits have fiber, minerals, and iron. That's true, but the negatives outweigh the positives when you're over 50. You can get those same nutrients from vegetables, whole fruits, nuts, and seeds without flooding your system with concentrated sugar. So what's the takeaway? If you love dried fruits, treat them like candy, an occasional treat, not a daily habit. Limit yourself to 1 or 2 pieces and always pair them with protein or healthy fat to slow down the sugar hit. But never fool yourself into thinking a handful of raisins or dates is harmless. For your muscles and legs, it's not. In fact, if you're feeling weaker, gaining belly fat, or noticing heavy legs, the culprit may not be your age. It could be that small bowl of dried fruits you thought were good for you. Cherries are one of the most attractive fruits out there. Bright red, bite-sized, sweet, and refreshing, they almost feel like nature's candy. Many seniors love to snack on them during summer, and they're often praised as a superfood in health magazines. You may have even heard people say, eat cherries, they fight inflammation, they're good for arthritis, they help you sleep better. But here's what almost nobody tells you. While cherries do have some health benefits, they also come with a hidden danger, especially for people over 50 who want to keep their legs strong and their muscles healthy. The truth is, cherries are one of the highest sugar fruits you can eat. Just 1 cup of fresh cherries contains around 18 to 20 grams of sugar. Now, that may not sound shocking at first, but think about how many cherries you actually eat in one sitting. They're small, easy to pop in your mouth, and very addictive. Before you know it, you've eaten 2 or 3 cups, which means you've just loaded your body with 40 to 60 grams of sugar. That's about the same as a large chocolate bar or a slice of cake. So what happens inside your body when you eat that many cherries? Your blood sugar shoots up quickly. Insulin rushes in to handle the sugar, but once insulin does its job, your blood sugar comes crashing back down. And when your sugar crashes, your muscles, especially in your legs, are left starving for steady fuel. Instead of feeling energized, you feel drained, weak, and heavy. For seniors, this is especially dangerous because muscle loss after 50, known as sarcopenia, is already happening naturally. Feeding your body too much sugar speeds up that muscle loss. In other words, a big bowl of cherries could be slowly robbing your muscles of strength without you even realizing it. Now, what about the claim that cherries help with inflammation? It's true that cherries do contain anthocyanins, which are plant compounds with anti-inflammatory effects. But here's the catch. To get a meaningful anti-inflammatory benefit, you'd need to eat a lot of cherries. And eating a lot also means eating a lot of sugar. That extra sugar actually triggers more inflammation in your body, especially in your joints and muscles. So whatever benefit you might get from anthocyanins is canceled out by the damage caused by the sugar overload. There's another issue many seniors don't consider: weight gain. A couple of handfuls of cherries can easily add 200 to 300 calories. And when you're less active than you used to be, those calories get stored as fat around your belly, hips, and thighs. That extra fat weighs down your legs and makes it harder for your muscles to support you. Over time, this weakens your mobility and increases your risk of falls. Now, I'm not saying you should never touch cherries again. If you enjoy them, you can still eat a small portion, just a handful, not a whole bowl. And here's a tip. Eat them with protein or healthy fats, like a few almonds or a little yogurt. This slows down the sugar absorption and gives your muscles a more stable energy supply. But here's the bottom line. Cherries may look harmless, even healthy, but if you eat them in large amounts, they can secretly drain your leg strength, feed belly fat, and accelerate muscle loss. So the next time you see a big, shiny bowl of cherries, remember, they may be nature's candy, but candy is still candy. And for seniors over 50, candy is not the path to strong, healthy legs. When you see a bottle labeled 100% natural fruit juice, it feels safe, right? After all, it's just fruit squeezed into a glass, no added sugar, no preservatives. Many seniors even drink juice daily, thinking it's an easy way to get vitamins. Orange juice in the morning, apple juice with lunch, maybe grape juice in the evening. But here's the hidden truth. Juice, even when it's completely natural, is one of the worst things you can drink for your muscles and legs after 50. The problem is simple. When fruit is turned into juice, all the fiber, the part that slows down sugar absorption and keeps your blood sugar stable, is stripped away. What you're left with is basically liquid sugar. Let's look at the numbers. 1 cup of orange juice has about 21 grams of sugar. 1 cup of apple juice has about 24 grams of sugar. Grape juice? A shocking 36 grams in just 1 cup, almost the same as a can of soda. Now, if you ate those fruits whole, the sugar would hit your system much more slowly because the fiber acts like a brake. But in juice form, the sugar floods your bloodstream all at once. For a body over 50, that's a disaster. Here's why. When your blood sugar spikes from juice, insulin has to rush in to handle it. That spike and crash cycle leaves your muscles without a steady supply of energy. Instead of feeling energized, you feel drained, weak, and heavy. For seniors, this is especially dangerous because muscle loss after 50, known as sarcopenia, is already happening naturally. Feeding your body too much sugar speeds up that muscle loss. In simple terms, a big bowl of juice could be slowly robbing your muscles of strength without you even realizing it. And let's not forget weight gain. Juice is very easy to overdrink because it doesn't fill you up. You could down 2 glasses of juice in minutes. That's 200 to 300 calories, mostly from sugar. And when your activity level isn't as high as it used to be, those calories get stored as fat around your belly, hips, and thighs. That extra fat weighs down your legs and makes it harder for your muscles to support you. Over time, this weakens your mobility and increases your risk of falls. Now, if you like juice, here's what's really important. Eat your fruits, don't drink them. Fruit has fiber, which slows down sugar absorption and gives you longer-lasting energy. Even better, if you love juice, make it an occasional treat, not a daily habit. Best of all, dilute it with water or sparkling water to cut the sugar load. But here's the bottom line. Juice is marketed as a health drink, but for seniors over 50, it's really just soda in disguise. It doesn't fuel your muscles, it weakens them. And if your goal is strong legs, independence, and healthy aging, then juice, even natural juice, is the very thing you need to leave behind.
After 50, your muscles naturally lose strength, a condition called sarcopenia. If you add too much sugar from these fruits, your body starts storing fat instead of maintaining lean muscle. The result? Weak legs, slower walking, balance issues, and higher risk of falls. You don't need to completely stop eating fruits. Just be smart. Choose low-sugar, muscle-friendly fruits like berries, kiwi, papaya, apples, and pears. Always eat fruits with protein, like yogurt, nuts, or eggs, to balance sugar spikes. And most importantly, keep your portions small. Remember, staying strong after 50 is not just about eating healthy foods. It's about eating the right foods. Some fruits may look healthy, but they can silently rob your legs of strength. Avoid these 7 worst fruits, make smarter choices, and you'll feel lighter, stronger, and more independent every single day.